video, subscribe. So like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you are alerted when I make new uploads. Alright. So without any further ado, let's begin. So where I left off from last time was safety of nitrous oxide. It says safety of nitrous oxide. So without any further ado, let's begin. Nitrous oxide is a significant. So nitrous oxide is a significant. Nitrous oxide is a significant. So a significant occupational hazard. It's an occupational hazard for surgeons. So surgeons, dentists, and nurses. Because nitrous oxide. So because nitrous oxide is minimally metabolized in humans with a rate of 0.004%. It remains its potency when exhaled into the room by the patient and can pose both an intoxicating and prolonged exposure hazard to the clinic staff. So clinic staff if the room is poorly ventilated. It's like not ventilated like properly. Where nitrous oxide is administered, a continuous flow fresh air ventilation system or N20 scavenger system is used to prevent a waste gas buildup. Say a waste gas buildup. The NIOSH, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, said the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health recommends that workers' exposure to nitrous oxide should be controlled. So should be controlled during the administration. So the administration of anesthetic. So administration of anesthetic gas in medical. So medical, dental, and veterinary. I can't really pronounce this. I'm going to translate this because it makes it a lot easier. So veterinary. I can't really pronounce it. How's it pronounced?
Veterinary.
Veterinary. Wait. What's it called again?
Veterinary.
Veterinary. There we go. So medical, dental, and veterinary operators. It said a REL. So recommended exposure limit of 25 ppm or parts per notation, or 46 milligrams per meter cubed to escaped anesthetic. Now it got both mental and manual impairment. So impairment. Exposure to nitrous oxide causes short-term decreases in mental performance. So mental performance, audiovisual ability, and posterity. I'm a bit unsure what that is, but oh well. These effects, coupled with the supposedly induced partial and temporal disorientation, could result in physical harm to the user from environmental hazards. Now we got both neurotoxicity, and neuroprotection. Nitrous oxide is neurotoxic. Nitrous oxide is neurotoxic, and there's evidence that either medium or long-term habitual consumption of significant quantities can cause neurological harm, with the potential for permanent damage if left untreated, like other NMDA. Not sure what NMDA even stands for. Not too sure. Receptor antagonists. So NMDA receptor antagonists. It has been suggested that N20 produces neurotoxicity in the form of Olney's lesions. Lesions in rodents upon prolonged, several-hour exposure. It's been argued that because N20 is rapidly expelled from the body under normal circumstances, it's less likely to be neurotoxic than other NMDAR antagonists. Indeed, in rodents, short-term exposure results in only mild injury that is rapidly reversible, and neuronal death occurs only after both constant and sustained exposure. I apologize for the sound, it's raining too much. So I apologize. So both constant and sustained exposure. Nitrous oxide also may cause neurotoxicity after extended exposure because of hypoxia. It's like medicine, medical. It's hypoxia. This is extremely true of non-medical formulations. Such as whipped cream and chargers, which is a steel cylinder or cartridge filled with nitrous oxide. Say whipped cream chargers, which never contain oxygen, since oxygen makes cream rancid. In either heavy or frequent, or should I say like daily or weekly, users reported to poison control centers. Signs of I can't even pronounce this word. ataxia. So ataxia, gait abnormalities, or
paresthesia.
paresthesia. So paresthesia, perception of abnormal sensations. For example, tingling, numbness, prickling, mostly in the extremities. These are considered an early sign of neurological damage and indicates chronic toxicity. Nitrous oxide. So nitrous oxide at 75% by volume reduces. I just can't pronounce this word. 75% by volume reduces
Ischemia.
Ischemia-induced neuronal death induced by occlusion of the middle cerebral. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's spelled cerebral artery in rodents. So rodents, and decreases NMDA-induced Ca squared plus influx in neuronal cell cultures, a critical event involved in excitotoxicity. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that one. Next up is DNA damage. Occupational exposure to ambient nitrous oxide. Say DNA damage. Occupational exposure to ambient nitrous oxide has been associated with DNA damage due to interruptions in DNA synthesis. So DNA synthesis, this correlation is dose dependent. So dose dependent, and doesn't appear to extend to casual recreational use. However, further research is needed to confirm both the duration and quantity, not quality, but quantity of exposure needed to cause damage. Alright, now we got oxygen deprivation. So oxygen deprivation, if pure nitrous oxide is inhaled without oxygen deprivation can occur. So deprivation can occur, resulting in low blood pressure, fainting, and even heart attacks. This can occur if the user inhales large quantities continuously. So in other words, like, this can happen if they inhale a lot of nitrous oxide in a huge amount, like take a deep breath, like a big deep breath, and inhale as much of it as they physically can. So that's what happens. So this can occur if the user inhales large quantities continuously, as with a strap-on mask connected to a gas canister. So like the mask, what like patients would use in hospitals. So the mask connected to a gas canister. It can also happen if the user engages in excessive breath holding or uses other inhalation system that cuts off a supply of fresh air. Now we got vitamin B12 deficiency. Long-term exposure to nitrous oxide may cause vitamin B12 deficiency. This can cause serious neurotoxicity. So neurotoxicity if the user has pre-existing vitamin B12 deficiency. It inactivates the cobalamin form of vitamin B12 by oxidation. Symptoms of vitamin B12 deficiency including sensory neuropathy. I can't pronounce this word. So sensory neuropathy,
myelopathy, and encephalopathy.
Encephalopathy may occur within either days or weeks of exposure to nitrous oxide. Anesthesia in people with subclinical vitamin B12 deficiency. So subclinical vitamin B12 deficiency. Symptoms are treated with high doses of vitamin B12, but recovery can be also slow and incomplete. People with normal vitamin B12 levels have stores to make the effects of nitrous oxide insignificant unless exposure is repeated, so both repeated and prolonged. Like nitrous oxide abuse, vitamin B12 levels should be checked in people with risk factors for vitamin B12 deficiency prior to using nitrous oxide anesthesia. Okay, prenatal development. Several experimental studies in rats indicate that chronic exposure of pregnant females to nitrous oxide may have adverse effects on the developing fetus. Now we go chemical, physical effects at room temperature, around 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The saturated vapor pressure, so vapor pressure. Vapor pressure. Which is around 732. So 732.803 PSI, which is 50.525 bar, rising up to a colossal 1,050. So 1,050.7,984 PSI, which that is 72.45 bar. 36.4 degrees Celsius. So 36.4 degrees Celsius. 97.5 degrees Fahrenheit. The critical temperature. A suicide with that amount of pressure. The pressure curve is thus unusually sensitive to temperature. As with many strong oxidizers, contamination of parts with fuels. So contamination of parts with fuels. So fuels like gasolines and whatnot have been implicated in rocketry accidents where small quantities of nitrous slash fuel mixtures due to water hammer-like effects, sometimes called dieseling, like heating due to adiabatic compression of gases, can reach decomposition temperatures. Some common building materials, such as both stainless steel and aluminum, so stainless steel and aluminum, can act as fuels with strong oxidizers, such as nitrous oxide, as contaminants. They might ignite due to adiabatic compression. There also have been incidents where nitrous oxide decomposition in plumbing has led to the explosion of large tanks. Next up we got is mechanism of action. So mechanism of action. Mechanism of N20 in medicine. So in medicine is now fully known. However, it's been shown to directly modulate a broad range of ligand-gated ion channels, and this likely plays a major role in many of its effects. It moderately blocks both NMDA, which is N-methyl-D-aspartate receptor. So NMDA-R and beta-2 subunit containing NACH, which is nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. Weakly inhibits AMPA. However, it has been shown to directly modulate a broad range of ligand-gated ion channels and is likely plays a major role in many of its effects. It moderately blocks NMDAR and beta-2 subunits containing NACH channels, weakly inhibits AMPA kinase receptors, it slightly potentiates GABA. So GABA receptor, not receptors, sorry. So GABA and glycine receptors, sorry. It's also been shown, so it's also been shown to activate, two-pore domain, two-pore domain K plus channels, while N2O affects quite a few ion channels. It's anesthetic, hallucinogenic, so hallucinogenic, and euphoriant effects are likely caused by predominantly or fully via inhibitants. So, inhibition of NMDA receptor-mediated currents. In addition to its effects on ion channels, N2O may act to imitate nitric oxide, NO, in the central nervous system, and this may be related to its analgesic and both analgesic and anxiolytic properties. Nitrous oxide is between 30 to 40 times more soluble than nitrogen. So more soluble than nitrogen. The effects of inhaling sub-anesthetic doses of nitrous oxide have been known to vary based on several factors, including both settings and individual differences. However, from his discussion from J 2008 suggests that it's been reliably known to induce the following states and sensations: intoxication, euphoria / dysphoria, spatial disorientation, temporal disorientation, and reduced pain sensitivity. A minority of users also will prevent with uncontrolled vocalizations and muscular spasms. So uncontrolled vocalizations and muscular spasms. These effects generally disappear minutes after removal of the nitrous oxide source. Next up is... I can't pronounce these words.
Anxiolytic
effect in behavioral tests of anxiety. A low dose of N2O is effective. So effective
anxiolytic
and this anti-anxiety effect is associated with enhanced activity of GABA receptors, as it's partially reversed by benzodiazepine receptor antagonists, minoring this animals that have developed tolerance to the anxiolytic.
Anxiolytic.
Anxiolytic, close to the anxiolytic effects of benzodiazepines are partially tolerant to N2O. Indeed, in humans, given 30% N2O, benzodiazepine receptor antagonists. So benzodiazepine receptor antagonists reduced the subjective reports of feeling high, but didn't alter psychomotor performance in human clinical studies. Now we got analgesic effects. The last part, analgesic effect. The analgesic effects of N2O are linked to the interaction between both the I can't pronounce this. So between the
Endogenous.
to the endogenous.
Opioid.
So between both the endogenous opioid system, and the descending
Noradrenergic.
System. When animals are given morphine chronically, they develop a tolerance to its pain-killing effects, and this also renders the animals tolerant to the analgesic effects of N2O. Administration of antibodies that both bind and block the activity of some endogenous opioids also block the anti-nociceptive effects of N2O. Drugs that inhibit the breakdown of endogenous opioids also potentiate the anti-nociceptive effects of N2O. Several experiments have shown that opioid receptor antagonists applied directly to the brain block the anti-nociceptive effects of N2O, but these drugs have no effect when injected into the spinal cord, apart from an indirect action, nitrous oxide. So nitrous oxide, like morphine, also interacts directly with the endogenous opioid system by binding at opioid receptor binding sites. So binding sites, conversely, alpha 2 adrenoceptor antagonists block the pain-reducing effects of N2O when given directly to the spinal cord. So spinal cord, but not when applied directly directly to the brain. So to the brain, indeed, alpha-2b androceptor knockouts, whether mice or animals, depleted in so animals depleted in
norepinephrine,
norepinephrine, so norepinephrine, or nearly completely resistant to the antinociceptive effects of N20. Apparently, N20 induced release of endogenous opioids causes this disinhibition. So disinhibition of brainstem noradrenergic neurons, which release
norepinephrine,
into the spine, so into the spinal cord, and inhibiting pain signaling. Exactly how N20 causes the release of endogenous opioid. So endogenous opioid peptides remains uncertain. Alright, next up is properties and reactions. So both properties and reactions. Nitrous oxide is a colorless gas. With a faint. So properties and reactions. Nitrous oxide is a colorless gas. With a faint sweet odor. Nitrous oxide supports combustion by releasing the dipolar bonded oxygen. So dipolar bonded oxygen radical. So radical and can thus relight a glowing splint. N20 is inert at room temperature. So N20 is inert at room. So N20 is inert at room temperature. It has few reactions at elevated temperatures. Its reactivity increases. For example, nitrous oxide reacts with NaNH2, which is sodium amide, commonly called sodamide. Its systematic name is sodium azanide. So sodium azanide. So NaNH2. Sodium amide, commonly called sodamide. Systematic name. So systematic name sodium azanide. At 187. So 187 degrees Celsius, which is around 369 degrees Fahrenheit. So degrees Fahrenheit to give NaN3. So NaN3, which is sodium azide. So we got 2NaNH2 plus N2O. So N2O, nitrous oxide, is Na. So NaN3 plus NaOH. So NaOH plus NaN3. So 2Na. So 2NaNH2. So 2NaNH2. So 2NaNH2. So 2NaNH2 plus N2O is equals Na. So equals NaN3 plus NaOH plus NH3. The above reaction is the route adopted by the commercial chemistry industry. So commercial chemical industry. Sorry, got a bit of a rhythm going on. So commercial chemical industry to produce azide. So to produce azide salts. So azide salts. So salt. You want to say it right? Azide salts. There we go. Which are used as detonators. So detonators. So detonators. Alright. Okay, so that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. So for my next nitrous oxide video will be about the history. So that's right, will be about the history of nitrous oxide. So can't wait for that. So that'll wrap it up for tonight. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. So like and subscribe. Comment down below. So comment down. So like the video. Subscribe. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit that notification bell and hit all so you're alerted when I make new uploads. Alright. So that'll be it. I will see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe. Have a great evening and have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you guys soon in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there. And I will see you guys soon in the next video. Take care, folks. I'll see you guys soon.